How can we rotate the techs? We only have 2 techs on this entire unit. This unit has ventilator patients, trach patients, complete care. Most of the patients are complete care. The patients are heavy. The nurses need the nursing assistants on the floor. So how can we rotate them? What happened to the sitter? Oh, they didn't send any. All right, y'all play a lot of games. Because at this point, I had already taken a report, meaning that I've assumed care of the patient. Do you guys know that, you know what, it wasn't even a night shift. I had worked day shift. This was a day shift. For that entire shift, myself, the charge nurse who had a patient of her own, and another nurse, we had to rotate being the sitter for this patient. So how y'all didn't get a sitter for this patient, knowing that you have a lot of sitter cases in the hospital? Would it not be wise or in the best interest of the hospital to contract like a company that has CNAs, like a staffing agency that has CNAs, and have them come in to sit with the patients who require sitters? It's not like the hospital don't have the ability to do this. There are plenty of agencies that have CNAs at their disposal that they can send them to the hospital to sit with the patients. Why y'all not doing that? Oh no, the nurses can watch the patient, right? In addition to giving medications, in addition to doing all of the other things that needs to be done, documentation, turn and repositioning, suctioning the patients. We can do all of that and still rotate and be a sitter for this patient. Y'all out of line. And I mean, it's a serious thing, because when you have a patient that's on SI precautions, you don't play with that, because God forbid too, as a nurse, let's just say this patient injures themselves. Who do you think is getting the blame? You think the hospital is getting the blame, even though the hospital is the one that was supposed to provide the sitter and didn't? It's not the hospital. It's going to be the nurse, me. I would get the blame, because in court they would say, but as a nurse, you knew that this patient needed a sitter. Why didn't you have a sitter for this patient? Or why didn't you watch the patient? Well, we already know why I couldn't watch the patient consistently. It's because I got to take care of the other people. And then the other nurse who's watching the patient, she might have to run out, go check on her other patient because something's going on. Like, the way that they scapegoat and gaslight nurses is unbelievable. One of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about the gaslighting of nurses is because all too often, so many nurses feel inadequate. They feel like they're not good enough, they're not smart enough, and they're not doing the right thing by their patients. When in fact, you are doing everything that you can do. You're doing the best that you can do. You're going above and beyond. But it's just the way the system is designed with the ridiculous ratios. Let's not forget, like I mentioned in my previous video, patients today are sicker now than they were 10 years ago. They're sicker now than they were 20 years ago. Let the seasoned nurses tell you that patients were not this sick. Also, the amount of documentation that we have to do, oh, that's another one I got to talk about in another video. The amount of documentation that nurses are bombarded with today is ridiculous. And one more thing I want to add. While you're working on the floor and there's no techs to help, there's no CNAs, the hospitals have implemented monitoring of whether or not patients are being turned. So nurses are expected to do proper assessments, rescue patients when they're going bad, timely medication administration, timely documentation that is never ending. And you guys still want for me to be able to turn and reposition all of the patients, which most of them are going to be complete care. It is impossible. They have set unrealistic expectations for nurses at the bedside, and I think it's very important for nurses to know that it is not you. The expectations are simply unrealistic, and what they're doing is gaslighting you into thinking that you're not good enough. It's an abusive, toxic relationship. That is the reason why I realize now that as nurses, whether you're coming into the profession or you've been in the profession, you have to have a backup plan or an exit strategy, because what is happening now is not sustainable at all for anyone. But I'm going to end this video right here. let's chat it up in the comments. I'm going to try to respond to as many comments as possible. I also think I need to really go live. I know I've been saying this for some time and I haven't gone live at all yet on YouTube. I'm hoping as my time gets frees up, as I have more time, I'm hoping that I can jump on live so we can chat it up. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Look out for my vlog. It's coming soon. And I will catch up with you all in another video.